Right?
Okay. Don't
Sure.
hate it.
Chor gets his Slark that he's pretty comfortable on. It's a decent lane as well, Enchantress Slark. A bit scary, although Brew and Rubik.
It's a very scary lane.
Yeah.
We'll call it a Brubik lane.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
What are they picking last? Call it now.
For Fnatic?
Both.
I think you're looking for your. What do you think they need?
On Lilgun, they need lockdown. On Fnatic, they need some AoE damage, I think. I think they could still get away with Lesh, honestly. Maybe a 1 Lesh would be fine. And then just run the Shadow Fiend in mid.
Yeah, because that was going to be my question. Like, do you try and put the Tusk as a support to avoid that Viper lane, which is what they did last game? I don't think Shadow Fiend's. I don't know how comfortable you are with putting the Shadow Fiend versus the Viper. So do you look to try and go for like a different position too at the 23rd?
SF Viper, I think, is okay. Like,
okay.
You've got pretty decent range against it, and then worst case scenario, you're going to be able to spam out the razors. Viper's already very slow, so you might actually be able to get kills off of the back of razors. And if it's again mid Viper, probably buying a bottle as opposed to boots early on. So level 3, maybe you can convert, get that early first blood, and use it to snowball from there. I am liking this Slark a lot, though. That's the one area of concern that I've got. Like, they need something else that's going to be able to deal with this. Either, again, I want to see a BKB bias, so Diffusal Blade isn't quite as effective. I want to see AoE damage, so that it's not all on the back of the Shadow Fiend. The lane's going to be rough for KP. So, whatever they do to try and address that is... Sorry, they're not going to be able to do anything to address that, so you've got to just focus completely on the other lanes. I think you've just lost one of the lanes point blank. Just do the best that you can to get out of the laning phase so that you're not having a farmed Slark and an Enchantress and a Viper, who are all pretty solid in the early game, just running over you.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern because Fnatic, I mean, you're going to need the split to have a lot of impact in some of the fights. Shadow Fiend's not going to look to get involved. A lot more level dependent on kind of the Rubik and the Toss, so the only game might be a bit of a concern. We do see the Mars as their last ban on Fnatic, so continuing to try and target the last offlane pick that we're looking out for Lilgun.
I mean, they're getting rid of the right things, right? They need lockdown. They need to stop the Brewmaster from getting split off. They need to force Shadow Fiend into going an earlier BKB than he might like. Because right now, there's nothing really stopping him, right? The Tiny might be able to get his Avalanche Toss combo onto you, but you could probably just turn around and right-click and be pretty happy about that. I don't think they were ever going to pick a Morphling. Morphling Shadow Fiend seems incredibly greedy. But even if a Slark gets on top of you, right, all you need to do is Requiem, and then you basically just forcing him to disengage.
There's so many routes Fnatic can go down. Just put the Toss safe lane again, put the Shadow Fiend mid if they feel confident with the SF Viper matchup, and then go for a position 5.
I think they're just trying to think of what's not going to get punished, right? Because if the Viper's mid against the Tusk, then it's fine, I think like this Pangolier is, again, it's flexible. You can run it in side lanes. We've seen Fnatic now, they're not shy of switching things up a little bit. Not going to be a support, but, Tusk mid, Pango mid, SF mid, who knows? It's what you have to do whenever you've got that first pick. It doesn't feel like they've got like a big objective though on Fnatic, right? Like no one takes towers very well outside of that Shadow Fiend, so I guess it's really just playing for SF level 15 and then looking to go from there. Build up into the Dragonlance, start to get a little bit like with the Mask of Madness style of build, because again, probably don't need that BKB, especially if you've got a Pango and a Brewmaster rolling around and with the Primal Split creating a ton of space for you. I think that's the avenue for Fnatic. For Lilgun, I still honestly don't know what they're doing, and that sounds a little harsh, but
Choose your
It's
hero.
fine, right? Like you're gonna be able to at least route the Brewmaster for a little bit further. You might get some freer kills onto the Rubik, but you've still got an instant lockdown for Rubik. You still don't have an easy lane if this is going to be like a mid Shadow Fiend. And they switch the Pango around. So who knows? Who knows? I'm leaning more towards Fnatic this time around, just because I feel like it's an offlane Viper. It's doable. Nah, Fnatic for me.
I really don't like this Ember pick. I'm quite surprised they avoided the Viper Pango matchup.
But they didn't. Well, yeah, they didn't know. Right.
I think it's like 90%. What you're gonna play a Pango support? You don't do that anymore. Like this hero is not. You play it as a 2
They
or a
could have
3.
run it one. Like one. Like the Tusk was one.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely less likely as well compared to like a Tusk or some other hero. Like I think more, it's
They needed lockdown, is what I'm saying. Was Invoker in this game? I think it would have been a pretty decent Invoker game, for example.
you've now given RML a pretty good time in this lane, so he's going to be fine. And I think it's a great Pango League game overall with how much you're able to get out of the Rolling Thunder. I think there's really big advantage in regards to Fnatic's team fight. You've got a lot of control. You've got Rolling Thunder. You've got Split now. And Lilgun, how do you team fight? Like you are looking for, like you don't have a lot of control like you mentioned, so that's kind of where the Ember can potentially help out with the chains, but like they're going to be able to kite the Slark, which is a big concern, and you don't really have like ways to start. It's pretty much you,
Prepare for battle.
it's a position 5 tiny, so his Blink's going to come out ultra late. So
Yeah, and even the lanes for Fnatic seem pretty solid, right? Like, I'm assuming, even though, well, everyone's moving down towards this bottomish side of the map, but I'm assuming it's going to be Brewmaster paired together with the Rubik and then Tusk Shadow Fiend. So much more potential for kills in that lane if you do it, and it's a nice, easy way to be able to proc the Cinder Brew as well with the Fade Bolt. So yeah, lanes are good. You've got, let's compare the ranges there. In Viper has a slight attack range advantage, but again, do you really want to be moving in, contesting against a Tusk lane? Probably not.
yeah, probably not at all. It's a
30 seconds to battle.
difficult lane to be able to combat into in that regard. So well, we'll see. We'll see what we have in store for us. Maybe 11's not going to go for that scepter.
He doesn't have it queued up yet.
All right. At least that's something. At least that's something. It'll be interesting to see how 4-2-3 is going to be able to perform on the Ember Spirit as well. Haven't really seen him play any Spirit heroes, even though he's gold tier. So, very excited on how he's going to be able to match up in a game like this. It's not a lot that he has to be worried about. Be difficult for them.
So for Viper, what I want to see in this build is kind of what he's got: double Wraith Band into Power Treads, into Dragonlance, into BKB, into Hurricane Pike is essentially what I want to see coming through from 11, and just look to plant yourself in the middle of these team fights. Be hard to, relatively hard to kill, pop the BKB, make it so that the Pango isn't free to just roll around in these team fights and disrupt what your Slark is trying to do. Actually going with the dual melee and the dual range setup for Fnatic this time around. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if you're just wanting to harass out the melee hero on Ace, but I really feel like they had an opportunity once they hit level 3 on Gabby to get an early kill onto 11. So, looks like he'll be able to connect the creep waves up top as well, so nicely done. Despite the lack of stuns, is able to influence the lane in that way. Might be able to retain his courier as well, so nicely done there. And this is what happens when you've got this like dual melee lane, right? Well, Say's just free to go early point into the impetus as opposed to the enchant, and what can you do about it? There's very little that someone like a Tusk can look to accomplish against that.
They also didn't block up some of the camps as well for the Enchantress, so we'll have at least some over in his jungle. Sometimes we see some wards and even sentries laid down to be able to kind of mitigate the effectiveness as First Blood will be picked up bottom lane. Looks like it was
Has been killed.
still only 1 point in the raises, and that's all they needed to be able to bring down the Viper.
Yeah, again, very, very slow, and that's what the telekinesis is quite good for. You know, these really immobile heroes early on before they have the items to buff themselves up. You just put them out of place once. Shadow Fiend, I'm sure, was getting a little bit of harass off in the lane as well that we didn't quite see. But yeah, very nice start to the game for Gabby.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, I'm playing around with the water and trying to stop 4-2-3 from getting that slight picker. I'd even go for the next one as well. Yeah. All right, so both water runes going the way of Armel is off to a pretty good start in regards to the last hits as well.
He has to be a little bit careful up top here, just trying to secure as many of these last hits as he can. But, I mean, mission accomplished for him. He was finally able to get that pull off for KP. Obviously, KP wants to avoid the Slark lane as much as possible. Never really want to be a melee hero against someone like that. And well, might end up costing DJ his life. He's extended a little bit too far. Does have the boots of speed, though, to be able to get away from a lot of this harassment. Unless Enchantress gets in range for the enchant. Doesn't seem like she'll be able to. Even the deer. The busted movement speed. I like the little things that Seth does, you know, making sure to not reveal the high ground ward just by when he's choosing to attack KP and DJ when they were going for their little kiting missions.
Genuo, can you get this kill? Fair fire and stick charges. Not going to be an easy one for them to find. Armel is starting to move on over and... well, he'll snipe that with a swashbuckle, so alright. So I can kill the game for Fnatic and able to bring down 4-2-3. Armel off to a great start here with the Pangoli, which is a big concern considering the impact that he will have in a game like this.
Zhao his props. You know, he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Able to just influence the enemy's mid laner into a kill for Armel without giving up too much of anything for himself. The lane was in a really good spot, so Gabby was never in any danger.
Zhao getting aggressive onto 11, but puts himself in a compromised position. They get the telekinesis back, so we'll be able to set up for the kill onto Gabby, who's not going to continue to chase Ace, doesn't have the razors nor the mana to be able to follow in pursuit. So in the end, will be a 1-for-1.
I think Armel got another water rune steal off there. He got both against 4-2-3, so this mid lane is going incredibly well for Armel.
Oh, they're even going to make it a little bit more Armel favored.
Zhao, Armel, DJ, they're all having standout performances so far this game. You know, pretty hard for a dual melee lane.
4-2-3 might go down mid. Swashbuckle, one more right click. Armel gets a solo. Alright, so... I don't know, man. You can't last pick an Ember and...
do this.
Yeah, yep. And he's got a TP bottom with Rolling Thunder. 11 just TP'd back to the lane as well. Telekinesis closer to the Armel's ultimate. Look for the long U-turn around and will not be able to sidestep that one.
His 4-2-3 waited inside of the fountain until his TP came off cooldown just so that he would be able to instantly get back to the lane. This is the first time he's had any resemblance of free farm in the lane, and he's looking to take maximum advantage while he can. Not even clearing out that sentry ward. Feeling like dealing with the lane equilibrium's a little bit more important use of his time.
This is really freeing up the map, though, in regards... Armel?
Armel has to be a little careful. He would hope that he gets lucky.
Where are you going?
He doesn't, though. Why would you run away on 4-2-3? This seems like an almost guaranteed kill if you look to continue committing onto that.
Not the courier. Oh, no. He missed.
Radiant middle tower is under attack.
Now bottom lane again. Gabby unable to get in range for the second raise. Was lacking the mana... sorry, the third raise. And he was lacking the mana regardless, so... Levin's going to get ourselves some resources still to play with in regards to the tangos, so... We'll be chilling for the moment. Gabby's got plenty of mana regen, though, thanks to the raindrops and the Sage's Mask.
Yeah, they're striking a pretty good balance of not keeping the lane too pushed towards the tower, but also making sure that they have a strong creep wave so that you don't really feel all that strong of fighting up against it. Like, you've got to reposition on the Tiny, of course, to be able to bring you back into their creep wave, but if you've got the Rubik, you've got the telekinesis for the exact same thing, right? So it's about this little bit of a balance between, like, do we feel strong enough to fight, or do we feel like we need to respect the strength of a tiny Viper lane? And, I mean, Fnatic get it just right.
All the support movements that we've seen early on from the Enchantress is kind of leaving the Brewmaster in a 1v1, which Trill is definitely thriving in, but importantly, KP is finding levels though, so 5.5.
All you need.
Yeah, well, that is all you need indeed. And what are we hoping out for the Brewmaster level 6? Where is that kind of first split going to be used?
I don't think he necessarily needs to be the one to use the split. Like, I mean, up top, I guess, would be the way that you want to be playing it, but just let people come to him. I don't really want to see KP moving too much. Just keep getting your levels, get into those early items. It's not really a great game for the Aghanim Scepter. I don't see any big standout things that you need to make sure that you're dispelling, for example, or when you need to be tossing up into the air. But I mean, I'll yield to KP. He's a
Bottom lane.
million times better.
Dive onto the tower. A Requiem leveled up at 6, and that helps him secure the kill onto 11's Viper.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh,
Radiant's courier
double courier
has
kill.
been
All right,
killed.
nicely done, Ace.
Oh, jeez.
Despite how, like, disastrous these lanes appear to be going for Lilgun, they're only 1k behind. Like, it's not that far, not that big of a difference, and Ember's been enabled to come back a little bit in this mid lane.
You might be able to get some kills as well. Nice snowball from DJ, but 4-2-3 can remnant on forward. We'll be able to burn
Let him do
DJ
it for free,
out.
though.
And
Gets the
Aces
equivalent.
looking to even try and find Genuel. Toss up in a couple of seconds. 4-2-3 is going to be in a position as well to continue the
Oh,
chase.
nice
Genuel. Very used to the Iron Branch, so still...
Didn't go back towards his own tower, tried to outthink him. Sometimes it's better to be 50 IQ as opposed to 110, you know, just make the obvious play.
Look at KP, who is himself set up in the tree lane, potentially waiting for Lilgun to try and dive Gabby. That's not going to be the case, and now KP will run into them. Not really much he has to be worried about getting blown up, but he might have to use the ultimate soon to close the distance, or Armel. Trying to get closer to Ace.
Just a couple of misspells there. You know, without going into the urn, doesn't have an easy way to be able to proc that Cinder Brew, which meant that you didn't get the catch up. Armel wasn't able to convert a lot of those right clicks. He's looking to try and shove the lane out as quickly as possible. I'm kind of surprised at how much emphasis Fnatic are putting onto this bottom lane. It's not like they have an amazing ancient taking hero on Lilgun's side that they need to disrupt.
Dire structures are fortified.
Also puts him away from the power in as well, so 4-2-3 has a double damage room, which they really could consider about using to try and defend the tower, and yeah, he's going to come down for this. And then on forward.
Damage being put out already.
Not a lot of mana on 4-2-3, but still it's enough to get that second round of the slight. And KP will be forced to use a defensive split, so definitely not what you're hoping for out of the first ultimate of the Brewmaster.
Not at all. I mean, this feels like a massive waste to me. Zhao, at least, is pushing in that mid lane. He's got the Siege Creep paired together with himself and just trying to get that hitting into the tier 1 tower. I wonder if that successful team fight is going to change Eleven's mind. Nope, never mind. He's still going the Midas. Not sure if that's the way that I would be looking to go here.
It could be telekinesis into the Requiem in the tree line. Oh, they're going to go for it. Set up. Plenty of damage. And now Armel looks for the cleanup. Double for the pain go. So gets a little bit of revenge. And even once more as well. Sharp. You can bounce off it maybe to help. Yeah. Ace gets out. At least they get 2 kills, you know?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Gabby's going the build that I feel like he should, and I mean, if Viper continues down this route, Midas, Boots of Travel, then I really feel like there's absolutely nothing that he can do against the Shadow Fiend. Like, again, your lockdown is lacking. And SF just going to be able to stand there with the Dragon Lance, with the Mask of Madness, and just win every single man fight.
Oh, DJ. Pops a smoke. We'll run into Ace.
Swooning there.
Gonna have to get pretty goddamn crafty if he's gonna make it out of this one. That will not be the case. So 3 heroes required to kill off the Tuscan. Getting a lot out of the map. Mid shoved in. Bottom shoved in as well. And also KP getting a little bit of me time up top. Pipe is queued up after the hood.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I suppose. They got a decent amount of magic damage up there. Diffusal Blade being built into for Trill. Really does feel like that's going to be Lilgun's timing though, right? Diffusal Blade, let them get a little bit more active. Nearly into the Maelstrom for 4-2-3. The Midas, what a big timing for 11 as well.
11 and Armel is going at it. Armel will be able to get the ultimate off and bounce back. KP doesn't have his own split. They're going to continue to chase down the Viper. How long do they want to stick around though? Armel doesn't have too much to utilize now. It looks like KP's the one that's in trouble. Split up in 5 seconds. The hood should enable him to stay alive long enough. So it's going to come out. Ooh, he'd love to not have to use it. That might all the changes there. So force once again to pop a defensive split on KP. They are starting to rotate to mid though. Januel's going to be nearby. Rest of the boys are coming over to the right side as well. Jar's ready with a telekinesis to drag him closer to DJ. The chain control needs to be perfect, and it's not. So 4-2-3 is able to escape, and now Trill with the wraparound with Januel. He's trying to go in for it. One more remnant. Can he find the damage? 4-2-3 slips into the tree line. And Trill gets some much needed kills. Double for the Slark, getting closer now. I think the Diffusal Blade being completed and some Essence stacks as well.
It's all right. Tower went down. Space created. That's all that matters.
Let's go.
Oh, man. They're just going for the real style points, aren't they, on Fnatic? I mean, they feel like they've got the better draft. They feel like they're able to outplay them. And I mean, he just wants a little bit added to the highlight reel, I feel. Important thing, though, Gabby's the one having a really solid game so far. He's getting all the items that he could possibly need. No deaths so far. 4-0-4. And yeah, even into the Hurricane Pike before the additional damage. I like it. Take the safe route, get away from the Slark, create space against the Viper, even against the Ember Spirit. You know, just be able to create a little bit of that space to be able to get away once he lands the Searing Chains in onto you.
He's getting pretty close to the Maelstrom though on 4-2-3. Yes, if you take a look at his kind of the comparison between the position twos, he's definitely far behind in regards to Armel's net worth, but pretty impressed with how much he's been able to catch up in farm. And
Smoke got scouted out, by the way, by the Observer Ward, and they should know it because Slark was around.
Let's try and move to bottom. It's just the Tusk that's very deep into the tree line at the moment. Not really going to be the most important. Is he going to look for a solo kill onto 11? Hang on, DJ. Oh my lord, DJ gets the kill and it doesn't matter. Yes, she gives some essence over to Trill, but continuing to slow down the position 3 Vipers game.
And it was already pretty slow to begin with. I mean, it is not a solid start. At least he's got the Midas, so a little bit of that catch-up gold going to be coming his way, but I mean, 2 lanes in a really rough spot for yourself. Armel shoving out top. I believe he's got the Aghanim Shard finished up for himself too, so even with the root, he's always going to be able to get into that roll-up and back to safety. And this is why I was kind of stressing the importance of the Viper. Like, you're not going to be able to use the poison attack for a lot of your right-clicks here once he's in that ball. You just need to right-click on its own, so maybe the Hand of Midas is going to assist with that, but I would have been hoping for a little bit more.
Maybe that Midas can get them towards those items that you're hoping for. We'll see. It's going to be a...
Lane is going to take a ton of damage, by the way, if no one addresses this. No glyph. Siege creep up. Gabby, Mask of Madness popped. They're just letting a tier 2 tower go at 16 minutes? Alright.
You see the positioning as well from the Brew and the Toss intercepting maybe some of the movements at top if they weren't going to TP. They were starting to kind of funnel towards that area, but... Yeah, it's...
More TPs though, I'm a little surprised. It's not like Gabby has any really big defensive items. Getting on top of him, he's dead.
So you got that outpost control now. I mean, you can Roche whenever you want to. DJ, oh, actually hasn't even put a point in the tag team, so I might look for that. You got 2 points in the lucky shot. Of course, the Shadow Fiend minus armor as well. Armel. Let's run it to 4-2-3 in the jungle, but will not matter.
Now rekindled.
Feels like Fnatic are really comfortable with their lead, and they're just looking to try and, again, just shove out the lanes, make it so that you can't make aggressive plays. You're without, again, the tag team for this, but I don't think they really care. 2 points in the presence of the Dark Lord. You've got the lucky shot, occasionally proccing onto Roshan. It should be a pretty clean take, although they're grouped up quite heavily. Having just got rid of the Observe Awards, so 4 heroes from Lilgun coming their way. Don't think they'll have the damage to be able to pick this one off, especially when they know.
Cliff. They'll be able to scout them out. A lot of the fight's going to come down to Ace's jump with the blink. Aver to 3, but the pipe gives them all the protection they need to now move on forward. It's just Shard blocks off the stairway. They can't make it to the high ground. Ace will go down. They do trade a 1-for-1, but down to the south, KP. Cycloning up 4-2-3 on the Ember. Can they get the control out afterwards? A Remnant to the right side. He's out of Remnant charges though, so it's going to be onto 11 and Trill to enter the middle. A lot of damage to the Centaur. Conqueror will hold them down. The Snowball sucks them in, but it's going to send them deeper into Dire's side as they will both be killed off as Lilgun. A great team fight for them. If they scout out Roche, they might be able to take it.
Maybe. I mean, it's a little bit odd play coming through from Gabby, though. I mean, his team was making a ton of space for him, but he wasn't really using it to right-click. He is by far the strongest hero in this game.
Doesn't get the toss back on a Trill. We'll be fine.
Got the haste, and, well, Zhao with the save, with the Aghanim Shard, so he's in the right position to save the day once again. But yeah, I really want to... I want Gabby to feel like he is the strongest hero in this game, because I don't think he realizes it just yet. Like, he is just still in farming mode, not wanting to die, not wanting to give up this nice little lead that they've built for themselves, but that was a fight outside of the Roche pit that you could have very easily won.
Oh, 11's got Scepter queued up. Alright, who can I look at? 4-2-3? E2 is going his Scepter, but it was a really good fight there from the Ember. He's definitely catching up in net worth. Point boosting now completed. Has enough gold for the second component as well. So he's having a pretty good game so far.
Drill's gone for his Ags as well. It's just an Ags party today, isn't it?
What's going on right now, DJ? Just shy of the shards, KP.
Be a little careful.
To the middle. Are they going to brute force this Roche again without split? Armel's eyeing over towards 11's Viper. And Armel should be able to get a solo kill with the use of the Rolling Thunder, so that might open up the pit now.
You got a single point in tag team? Nope.
With the nighttime advantage, Trill and Ace once again. And Aver to 2 for the Snowball save from DJ. Gives them time to activate the pipe, and now they can group up around Gabby's Shadow Fiend. KP's going to try and play around with the ultimate. It'll make sure the Ember can't escape, and now Trill's also in trouble as well. Snowball, and they can look for the drag down. There's the stun. They'll chuck up the rock. Not enough damage at the moment, but the charge should be able to bring him down. Great play coming through from KP and DJ.
Yeah, Gabby was still on the run for the majority of that, and they've even got an okay amount of magic damage. Ace as well. He's been landing some really nice Avatos combos, but the follow-up damage just isn't there. You know, I think if Viper's going to go this Boots of Travel Midas build, play like you've got a Boots of Travel and a Midas. Do exactly what you're doing right now. Shove the lanes out, more points in the Nether Toxin, less points towards fighting, and just look to take over an area of the map. Force them to play a little bit more defensively than they currently are.
Now, off the back of that successful fight, Fnatic will be able to find Roche, so Gabby gets the Aegis. Still working on the BKB as well. 7,000 net worth lead. We'll probably see them chill for a little bit. You probably think that once they get BKB, then they'll look towards some T2 towers, or can they even fight once maybe their ultimates are back up?
I think they could fight when their ultimates are back up, purely because top lane having to be a little bit careful here on Ember Spirit.
He's got a Remnant up. Do they have enough damage? Oh,
they've got a good amount of lockdown on Fnatic's side. I mean, this is the reason I feel that they can make these sorts of plays, because it's not like Lilgun are in a position to defend this, because again, they let that 16-minute tier 2 tower just go on the top side. Ooh, did land with the Cinder Brew.
Oh, he's going to try and TP up, but DJ quick on the fingers. Ace going to reveal his positioning now. should be able to make his own TP with the Suns being on cooldown.
Can they catch Gabby here? No, they don't have the damage. 2 cores down.
Is under attack.
Again, Slark, if he makes the Pounce in and does everything perfectly, you've still got an Aegis, and you've still got the Requiem of Souls. They have far too little lockdown for Shadowfiend to care about anything. He's going as the BKB next, because why not? But it's honestly not a necessity. I really wouldn't hate to see him just go pure right-click damage into the Daedalus, and that's pretty rare. You know how much I love BKB.
It's a pretty good BKB game overall, though, so I don't blame you if you'd be singing for those BKBs this game.
Radiant structures
Want to give him
are
the old
fortified.
punch, you know?
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
the
under
1-2 uppercut, just send him.
Send him flying.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's always fun.
That's what I'd do against you if we ever got in the ring together.
Shut the hell up. You know I'd slap you.
Dire's structures
Jesus
Slapping is not
Christ.
condoned in boxing, alright?
I'd actually beat the shit out of you and it wouldn't even be fun. Dude, it wouldn't even be close. Oh,
That
it's
is
so
elderly
cute.
abuse.
That is actually so cute.
Radiant's
Sarah,
bottom
what's
tower
see Enchantress doing? Oh, see what DJ's about to do to the Enchantress? Oh, it's twice as worse, you brother. You watch it out. Keep your mouth shut.
He did that with a Philosopher's Stone as well, so he's got minus 30 damage.
Come and fight me.
Hey, just considering. You buy the Staff for Wizard, then you can go potentially into the Scepter afterwards. Or just go Deso. Just get greedy.
Pretty good 4-staff game, man.
No. Go greedy, DJ. Go Deso. Come on. Think of the value. You got all the minus armor. Tagged him as well. Come on.
Any chance that you have to make a little rat Slark's game a bit more difficult is one that I'm going to take, you know? So 4-staff, good item.
You're not a Slark fan? You, as a support player, you've had some difficulties against him?
Dire's
No,
middle
because
tower
I buy 4-staff. No difficulties here.
Dire's middle tower has
Ah, you're a 4-staff buyer. Very good. They might go high ground with this 15 talent on Gabby. Look, Nether Toxin and Slight Spam is pretty solid to defend. I don't... I'm actually not quite sure if they can do this.
I mean, he's got Aegis for a minute and a half. Just put Gabby on the front lines. You've got 4-staffs, he's got BKB. Looks like they'll be backing off for now, but importantly, forces them all back. They're in a position to maybe do like a fake back sort of play.
Oh,
And Armel's nearly got his own Ags. So it is the Ags game. I'm counting like 7 Ags so far that we might have seen.
see what they can get out of the smoke as well. Trill's a big target. Anytime Trill doesn't have... Whoa, bounces into the middle. They didn't see the rest of the boys. Can play around with the shutdowns if required. They won't actually run up to the high gun, though. They're going to stick around. Drop the lane instead. And I'm looking at 11.
I know, it's
and-
500 away. I'm looking.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I hate it so much.
Oh, Armel actually goes for it, alright. Rolling Thunder. Onto they go with the Enchantress. So, not the longest cooldown.
Come and fight me.
I want to see the basher after this, please, Mr. Armel.
tower is under attack.
What's he got queued up?
He's got Ags now, but he's got nothing queued up. And he's gone one of my favorite talents, the 3-second shield crash cooldown while in the ball. Just the
DJ.
wording of it.
The jump in instantly onto Seth. Telekinesis as well. Actually going to use it aggressively instead of potentially protecting one of the
Aegis just
members.
expired.
Great use of the Hurricane Pike though, as Gabby's going to be able to reposition.
It's not right. Shouldn't be allowed. Should be illegal.
Seth? That's an aggressive 4-staff. Shadowfiend?
You know what? He's an enchantress. He just says, you know what? Sometimes I need to give up my life for the cause, and didn't even do that. Got the D ward off, so good job, Seth. Got more balls than Ares ever will.
Why am I
Enjoy
catching
this cast,
strays
guys.
right now? What the...
Got it.
You're literally saying how you could beat the shit out of me.
Nah, dude, I was just spitting facts. That's just nothing else. Dude, what do you want me to do? Get me with no sleep? I get delirious. Dude, I'll get ruthless. KP. I just got the boys behind him. KP's baiting. Look at this. Look at this. KP. Well and truly aware that he is unkillable with Armel and all the goons sitting behind him. Armel so close to getting that stun, so in the end, just to kill onto a tiny, nothing crazy. Gabby is still farming across the map though, playing at the triangle and getting very, very close to, I believe, the Silver's Edge. Has he got the rest?
Really great item pickup. I mean, it's going to be fantastic against 3 of the enemy heroes, right? All those passives that you can disable. Even that lovely little corrosive skin buff that you get from the Viper is suddenly just not going to be affected anymore because of the Aghanim Scepter and the Silver Edge interaction. Oh. You spend all this time farming a useless item. Even if it was against, like, melee heroes, I would understand it a little bit more. But you're up against a Shadow Fiend that's got much more attack range than you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Smoke up. So if they go for the backstab, Fnatic aren't going to reveal their position just yet. Now KP and Gabby will show.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So it could be a really scary
Yeah. They're sensing it,
fight.
though. I think they were a little late in popping that glyph.
Remnant's going to give them confirmation of the direction. Gabby's going to run straight to 11 in the tree line. That should be able to bring him down with ease. Viper gets blown up. And now who else do they want to put in the grave? Move it over to the Enchantress. Couple of right clicks. A lot of buybacks getting forced out here. They need to get something out of it. DJ's going to snowball into the middle. But they don't even have the damage to be able to kill off DJ. Now, Trill's doing a pretty good damage to the backline, but really all eyes have to be over towards Gabby. And BKB Requiem sends him packing. A dieback on the Viper. 4-2-3 is going to end up falling as well. Maybe Trill can look to try and rectify this fight, make amends, but not going to be the case. The boulder connects. Right clicks are not enough, however. Trill makes it inside the base, but KP, he's still hunting. An ultra for Armel, looking for the rampage, but won't have the damage.
He did the absolute best that he possibly could, right? Like, just finding a way to wrap around there, playing around there. Well, actually, the vision's kind of garbed. They've got it set up pretty well on Fnatic's side, so he was never able to fully retreat. Had to go all the way off towards the side to be able to play around it pretty effectively, and he found the supports, but wasn't able to get that full cleanup. And, I mean, it just doesn't have that supporting cast there, right? Another heavy death game coming up from 11. He is 1-11, fitting. But even in that fight, wasn't able to get off the nosedive in a single time.
We won last fight. Ace with a jump in. Again with the pipe, and there's just no damage now. Like, Trill will do his best, but even through the BKBs, forced to use the Shadow Dance defensively. They're onto Gabby, though. Gabby will go down, but Armel can easily turn it around. Even gets the blink off of the left side. Armel's so freaking good, man. What is that?
He goes back away.
He went away. Oh, KP. Another disarm. DJ jumps in, sends him packing, adds another death. Triple kill for DJ. Given the Ultraman, DJ deserves it. G's a drop. Lilgun eliminated from the hunt to being champions in the BTS Pro Series 11 as Fnatic will live to see another day.
And hopefully that will be the last day that we ever see a Viper Ags come out again, because what's the purpose? I still do not understand it. We've seen it fail multiple times now, and something's got to be going on in these scrims. Maybe teams aren't taking it seriously, and then when they win, they think, oh, this is actually pretty good. But it is trash. It is bottom tier. It is scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and make something happen. I just do not understand why you've got a team that's as skilled as Lilgun with their unorthodox style. There's unorthodox and then there's dumb, and I think this is dumb.
That's some fighting words coming up from Danog. I do really appreciate you saying the scrims, because that's exactly what I was going to bring up, because I have no other reasoning behind it. Game 1, I tried to stretch on the reasoning with it potentially being a way to eventually answer the Razor if it was going to come out. Not that I thought that was the right reasoning at all. I was just trying to get into their minds. But like you said, it's got to be some scrim information. Something has to be going on behind the scenes that we don't know about this Viper. Again, it's not going to work out, and I do not think we're going to see it again for quite some time. So for Fnatic...
I'm so disappointed in Lilgun. That's the thing, right? We know that they're good. That's
we
what
saw
makes it
game
so
one.
frustrating. Yeah.
And they dodged the bullet. I really think Fnatic dodged the bullet. Game one looked... Lilgun played a very good game. Now, they did ban the Arc Warden, and they didn't mess around. They weren't like, oh, let's potentially leave it through or maybe go for a counter. We're just going to ban it out game 2 and game 3. We're not going to mess around. Let's make sure that they don't have this hero they're incredibly comfortable on. And for Fnatic, it gives them another day to be able to work out some things as well, another series as well, which is just, regardless, important for this team. Because however you want to look at it, there's a lot of C fans, there's a lot of Fnatic plans, and just individual fans of the people on Fnatic. It's regardless good to see them survive another day, to be able to play another official where you can build up that momentum, get the chemistry going, because everyone is looking at DPC. Everyone wants C to be able to perform. We didn't get that at TI, unfortunately, so we need to start once again, and potentially with that next game occurring tomorrow, which I do believe they're playing tomorrow. I don't think they have a day off. I will... no, they won't have a day off.
Yeah, they're playing tomorrow, I think.
So, I mean, Geek Fam, actually, apologies, Execration.
It's upper bracket and Execration Fnatic tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's we're gonna have our ticket into the grand finals, which will be the first series, like you said, Army Geniuses, Geek Fam, and then the lower bracket semi. So another team eliminated. We got a top 4 now. I don't think you'd be too surprised with the top 4.
I think you'd be surprised at how strong Army Geniuses have looked.
Yes,
right. That's probably the big shock coming through. You if you had to guess from the very beginning of the tournament, you might have swapped the position of Fnatic and Army Geniuses into who's in the lower bracket and who's in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and I think Army Geniuses are... Dude, they're looking so scary right now, and this is a great time to be building momentum, again, leading into DPC. Going to be exciting to see what this team has in store. But for us tonight, Danog, we are done. We get to say goodbye to 2 more teams, so condolences to them. Of course, eliminated is eHome and Lilgun, but excited to see what those 2 teams are able to do in DPC coming up.
Yes, I am. I have high hopes for Lilgun. I hope I didn't sound too harsh, but I just really hate this Viper Ags, and I really don't want to see it because they're capable of so much better. Yep. So all the best to Lilgun and Execration, 2 of the teams that were playing today. They're going to be in DPC Division 1 this season after getting top 2 last time around. And we've still got plenty of open qualifiers to come in that too. But before then, we've of course got to close out the BTS Pro Series. We've got 2 days of it left. Like you mentioned, 2 series tomorrow before we've got the grand final and the lower bracket final on Saturday.
Yeah, so still tomorrow is going to be starting at the same time, 5 p.m. Singapore. Like we said, we're going to be starting with the upper bracket finals and then down to the lower bracket semi. So we get the best of both worlds. We get to see a team book their ticket into the grand finals and then another team eliminated. So who will that be? Well, we'll find out at 5 p.m. tomorrow. We'll see you back for some more BTS Pro Series.